Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally, Rome County Executive Wade Cresswell, Oak Ridge City Mayor Warren Gooch, Mayor Pro Tem City of Oak Ridge Jim Dobson, Oak Ridge City Council Charlie Hensley and Ellen Smith, Rome County Commission Lance Duff and Ben Wilson are here with us today. Did I miss any elected officials in the crowd? And if I did, please raise your hand. Great, perfect, awesome. Your presence speaks volumes about your commitment to our community, as well as the importance of preserving and sharing our historic history. This site stands as a testament to the legacy of Bill Wilcox, as a man whose lifelong dedication to Oak Ridge and his atomic heritage shaped not only this community, but also how our nation remembers its role in the Manhattan Project and beyond. Bill believed deeply in telling the full story of Oak Ridge, not only as a place of innovation and sacrifice, but as a place of people, perseverance, and progress. Today, his name and his vision are enshrined here for generations to come. But this center is also a testament to the long-standing commitment of the AMC Foundation, the Department of Energy, and our many partners who have worked tirelessly to preserve and promote this unique heritage. Together, we ensure that the stories of the men and women who built K25 and the scientific achievements of Apollo will never be forgotten. At the AMC Foundation, we are proud to say that we are in a time of extraordinary momentum. This opening is not just about honoring the past, it's about building toward the future. We are in an era of growth and transformation, and in the months ahead, you will see many new opportunities, new programs, and initiatives that will expand the ways that we share science, energy, and history with the public. In the words of a dear friend, our future is so bright you're going to need a good pair of shades to witness it. But this future cannot be built by us alone. It takes the strength of the community, partners, donors, members, and friends like you, standing with us to ensure this work continues. So today, as we celebrate this milestone, I invite you to join us in this endeavor. Whether through a gift, a membership, or by sharing your time and talents, your support helps us carry Bill Wilcox's vision forward and ensures that the story of Oak Ridge continues to inspire future generations. Thank you again for being here, for your commitment, and for your belief in the power of history to shape the future. We are honored to share this day with you. Without further ado, I would like to invite a man with many titles to the stage. Some of you know him as a local educator in the Oak Ridge school system. Others are familiar with his role as Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Oak Ridge. But for this instance, I'll introduce him with my personal favorite of his current titles, AMC Foundation Board President Jim Dobson.
Too many hats to wear. I'm going to have to take one of those off because my wife is about over that. So I really do appreciate that, Jeff. I'd like to wish everybody a good morning. This is a very exciting day for our community, our state, and our country. As the city of Oak Ridge continues to have positive growth in retail, residential, and industry, and particularly through the nuclear renaissance currently happening in the city of Oak Ridge, we are pleased to help contribute to that momentum by adding another important landmark for visitors to the east of the city. We would like to thank you for being here as we dedicate the William J. Wilcox K25 Interpretive Center. It is my position as president of the American Museum of Science and Energy Foundation's Board, and also a member of the Oak Ridge City Council. I want to start by giving special thanks to my fellow elected officials. At this time, if you're an elected official, would you please stand so we can recognize you? I would also like to give my sincere thanks to the employees of the City of Oak Ridge, Rome County, and Anderson County who have helped make this day possible. To continue, I engaging look at the legacy of the East Tennessee Technology Park. Through artifacts, oral histories, and exhibits, these centers preserve the stories of sacrifice, innovation, and peace for future generations. I commend the American Museum of Science and Energy Foundation, the Department of Energy, the National Park Service, and all the partners for making this vision a reality. Your work ensures this legacy continues to educate and inspire. Thank you for your dedication to education, preservation, and public service. Sincerely, Marcia Blackburn. This time it's an honor to bring up a good friend of mine, the Executive Director and CEO of the Amnesty Foundation, Mr. Alan Love.
Thank you, Jim. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's a big day. Really appreciate you being here. And Jim, we're really fortunate to have you leading our foundation. We appreciate you and all the board members. As you saw, several board members are here today. We really appreciate you. This is a special day and a special facility. And thank all of our dedicated staff and volunteers who helped make this day possible. They put a lot of work in the last few days getting all this set up, so I'm very proud of them always. I also want to start by noting and honoring our namesake, William J. Wilcox Jr. He did so much to serve this community and our nation. I'm really, really proud that we have his name on this building. At the same time, of course, you got to thank, I should always thank our incredible partners at the Department of Energy's Office of Environmental Management, or EM. We love acronyms. I'm sure you all know this, right? And at United Kingdom Oak Ridge Corps. They've done phenomenal work, along with a host of other partners, Army Corps of Engineers and others through the years to remediate this site. An incredible job, but also then to build and to give to the world the K25 Atomic History Center and now this incredible building. Today we'll hear from Eric Olds from EM and Ken Ritter from UCorp. I want to say right at the very beginning that we are indeed very grateful to. As the managers of this facility and the Atomic History Center, we're excited to present their resources to the public so that the Amnesty Foundation can continue growing. As you heard, this is a time of great momentum for us. How do we continue becoming the steam engine and being that source of education and engagement and inspiration to this community, to this state, and this nation? The exhibit you see upstairs and the footprint you can see from that platform of the former K25 plant gives you an idea, I think, of the immensity of the structure there and what was accomplished there. I must admit, I've been here many years, but when I went up and looked down on that, you can see, my gosh, it's a very large facility and doing very big things. The footprint, of course, is part of the Manhattan Project National Historical Park, and at some point in the future will be publicly accessible with Park Service wayfinding signs telling more of the site's story. So today, Oak Ridge has a remarkable history. Some of you know I used to be director of the Howard Baker Center, and I have some friends here from those days. One of the first things Howard Baker ever said to me when I started that job was, get to know Oak Ridge. And I did, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I'm here now, running these great museums. Today's another chapter in that history of Oak Ridge, an important chapter. We're really honored to play a role in preserving that history, teaching that history, and we very much look forward to welcoming the whole world to the William J. Wilcox Jr. K25 Interpretive Center. Now, in closing, I will say a few weeks ago, we gave a preview of this facility to the Wilcox family. It was such a pleasure having them here, meeting them. I'm very glad to welcome back the son of our namesake, William H. Wilcox, our next speaker. So if he can come to the stage, and Jim Dodson, if you can join me as well. We have a gift for you.
Capture the flag. Then we were talking last night about the incredible school system that we grew up in. Just a whole lot to be proud of. We were highlighting some of the inter-school stuff where school played gray line football, summer camps, all of that. It's really a wonderful time to grow up. And then we had two, most of you probably know, we had two junior high schools, a good one and not so good one. Just kidding. I went to Jefferson Junior High School, where Jim still classroom reunion. There's a lot to be proud of in Oak Ridge, and more so than that, with the incredible achievements that were done in such a short period of time. The HAT project, and then more apropos with K25, what happened after that. You'll hear a lot more about it. There's so much I won't get into it, except to say what a generation of people that accomplished so much in such a short period of time and created this legacy that continues to give. Jim mentioned, I'm going to hear about the nuclear renaissance that's taken over, I think, the whole world, but playing a leadership role here. So we're honored to be here. We're very proud and we're really grateful. We're grateful, and you've already heard a lot of that, but we're particularly grateful to the folks that you'll hear from today, the various acknowledgments and certificates and proclamations that we've received on behalf of my dad. Very appreciative of that. Special note for Ray Smith, who's carrying on the legacy that Dad cared so much for. And then I can't even put into words, although I'll try. The amount of meaning we got from the work of Gordon V. and his love of our father. Dad was a mentee to him before Gordon became his boss. It's a long, complicated, very loyal relationship, and because of the work of all those, Dad's dreams have become a reality. So, thank you.
We are truly honored to welcome a lifelong friend and champion of Tennessee. Joining us today is Lieutenant Governor Randy.
He and my brother Butch were friends in high school. Bill was a great football player for the Wildcats, a quarterback, and brought them to a very successful season. But I'd like to read part of the proclamation that we have, and I'll give it to Bill. Whereas we're proud to recognize and commend a lifetime of service of William J. Wilcox, Jr. on this special occasion, and now, therefore, I recognize Speaker of the Senate, 114th General Assembly of the state of Tennessee, in conjunction with the state Senate, who hereby proclaim that we honor the memory of William J. Wilcox, Jr. and applaud the grand opening and dedication of the William J. Wilcox, Jr. K25 Interpretive Center. It is most fitting tribute to his legacy and to the preservation of the history of Tennessee's greatest contribution to science and to nuclear energy. And it's presented in Nashville, Tennessee on this day, the 23rd day of June, 2025. So, Bill, I'll give this to you, and although it's just words on a piece of parchment, they represent the feelings of the Senate and the people of the state of Tennessee. Thank you.
It is a great honor to get a chance to speak here this morning on such an important occasion. I just want to tell a short story about how important it is to be what you're wanting to be or more. We can pay you this, and the dollar signs flashed in my grandfather's eyes. That makes pretty good sense. So I said, if you'll show up at this place, whatever place again, at 6 o'clock in the morning, get on this bus, and you can start your career tomorrow after the sun. So my granddaddy says, that's what we're going to do. Shows up that next morning to get on the bus. He's in line to get in this series of buses, and he hears off to the side, hey buddy, come here and talk to me for a second. So he goes over there and talks to him. And 40 years later, my grandfather retired from K25. Now imagine that in today's terms, but if that hadn't happened, who knows if I'm standing here before you today. So this place has an incredibly special place to me and my family, and what it meant to my grandfather's career is also incredibly important to our past, and what we're honoring here today with this interpretive center. And I'm telling you, and there's many people in this room know this place is so incredible for our future. Thanks to our cleanup partners for their efforts that put us in a position to be incredibly successful, to continue to build our community. And it's also such an honor, of course, as has been mentioned here, to be able to name this center in honor of William J. Wilcox Jr. Yeah, I have a proclamation here. I'm following Lieutenant Governor's steps. I'm not going to read it all the way around, but I will say this. Now, therefore, I, Wade Presco, County Executive of Rome County, do hereby proclaim August 23rd as William J. Wilcox Jr. Day in Rome County, Tennessee, to encourage all citizens to visit the center, learn about the important chapter of our shared history, and join us in celebrating the contributions of those who came before us. So, congratulations to the family, congratulations to AMC, and let's go celebrate together today. Thank you.
Joining us next is Oak Ridge City Mayor Warren Gooch. Under his leadership, Oak Ridge has continued to thrive as a hub of innovation, education, and community engagement, ensuring that the statement that Oak Ridge is a place where great things happen every day remains a steadfast truth. Please help me welcome Mayor Gooch.
Thank you, Jennifer, and good morning, everyone. On behalf of the citizens of Oak Ridge, I want to thank all of you for being here on this special day. I want to extend congratulations to the Department of Energy, UCOR, the Army Corps of Engineers National District, and all of our partners in reaching this extraordinary milestone. This special day has been many years in the making. The K25 gas fusion process building, as many of you know, was one of 8 properties that were designated by DOE as Manhattan Project signature facilities. The city is honored to play a role in the process to interpret K25 facility, serving as a signatory to the original memorandum of agreement and as an active participant for more than 20 years in that process. In fact, I recall one of the first things that passed across my desk after being elected mayor in 2014 was to meet with the signatories to review the options for the interpretation of the K25 building. Bill Wilcox was very active in seeking the preservation of both equipment and portions of the building. He wanted to create an authentic experience to educate future generations about the historical significance of K25. Now, shortly, you will hear from Gordon Fee and Ray Smith, who have been keepers of the flame as it relates to the naming of this facility, and rightfully so. The memorandum of agreement was amended several times as the partners to balance the goals of historic preservation with the challenges and constraints and realities of decommissioning the largest uranium enrichment facility in the world. As you can imagine, reaching consensus oftentimes among the partners was no easy feat. And in that vein, I want to thank Amy Fitzgerald, the city's Director of Government Relations, for her leadership in helping lead the process for the city. The Memorandum of Understanding also incorporated the establishment of the Center for Oak Ridge Oral History at the Oak Ridge Public Library. The center is a unique gem comprising over 900 audio and video interviews which capture the stories of the life, people, and history in the secret city of Oak Ridge. The MOA also integrated the creative use of Oak Ridge Fire Station No. 4 to support the mission of K25. This dual-purpose facility serves as a cost-effective approach to long-term management while providing critical public services K25 property. Retired city manager Mark Watson and our fire chief Travis Solomon provided the vision and the implementation to make this a reality. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the contributions of the thousands of men and women, some of whom I know are here today, who worked in the facility during more than 40 years of its operation, and the skilled labor workforce that successfully built K25 and completed the world's first decommission of a uranium enrichment facility. Without their efforts, we would not be here today. As we approach the 10th anniversary of the Manhattan Project National Historical Park this November, naming this facility the William J. Wilcox Jr. Interpretive Center is a fitting tribute to the city of Oak Ridge's inaugural city historian and to the legacy of a passionate, exemplary citizen of our great city. We thank his family and thank all of you, and it's great to be here. Have a good night.
Joining us next is Eric Olds, manager of the U.S. Department of Energy's Oak Ridge Office of Environmental Management. We are so grateful to have Eric here with us today, not just as a committed partner of the EMC Foundation, but also as a dedicated leader whose support helps ensure Oak Ridge continues to thrive as a place of discovery, knowledge, and community. Please welcome Eric Olds.
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be here to celebrate and to share in this happy occasion. You know, looking around at this crowd just reminds me that it takes a community, it takes a village to accomplish great things. And that's what we're here talking about today, something that we've all accomplished together. I think this has been a long time coming, but I think you'll agree it's worth the wait. It's an amazing facility, and I think you'll see that once you're able to tour if you haven't been here. I would like to thank the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and Geiger Brothers for building an incredible facility. I'd like to thank Smee and Busby Architects for designing an amazing facility. And I would like to thank Hilferty for doing a great job on the exhibits that you're going to see upstairs and throughout the building. And a special thanks to Kit Gruber and UCOR, my partner and a great advocate. We'll hear a lot more about that as well when Ken speaks. So this is a beautiful facility, as I just said, but I'm not surprised because I think Oak Ridge has had a long tradition of being trailblazers, and I think a number of our speakers have actually touched on that previously. I think that foundation began with the men and women who built and operated the site as part of the Manhattan Project. And since I've been here in my time at Oak Ridge, I've heard about the three chapters of workers, if you will, at the K25 site. There's the workers that built it, there's the workers that operated it, and there's the workers that cleaned it up afterwards. And I think each chapter has had its own leaders and visionaries who accomplished a lot of firsts in their times. I know Gordon and Ray are going to talk a lot about those first two chapters of workers when they speak. But the EM program is really proud to be a part of this story. You know, our employees continue that tradition when they accomplish a world first by cleaning up a former enrichment facility that's not been accomplished anywhere else. And that cleanup has really paved the way for the public to be able to enter a site and experience a site that was once off limits, and it really makes today possible. I think we are adding a fourth chapter, if you will, of workers to the story. There are no longer just three chapters of workers here, because we have a chapter now with new businesses, new jobs, and visitors, and all of that is being made possible through land transfers, historic preservation, and the conservation that is ongoing. And that is really connecting the past with the future in my mind. So it's rewarding to know that our program is playing a part in the next chapter with facilities like this, to mention everybody between the UCOR and the Department of Energy teams that have been involved in this, but I would be standing here talking to you for at least another 45 minutes if I gave you that list. And I'm certain you don't want to hear it, but people like Mark McIntosh, who is with us today, our federal project director, and who's representing with his bow tie this morning. Steve Cook, Ashley Saunders, Kevin Ironside. Some of those folks are here today, some were not able to be here today, but a lot of folks on both the federal and the UCOR team worked together. They kept their shoulder to this project and they got it out across the finish line. So I'd really like to thank them as well. And thank all of you for being here today. It's fantastic, and I look forward to the grand opening. Thank you.
Joining us next is Ken Ruder, President and Chief Executive Officer of United Clean Oak Ridge, or UCOR. We're grateful to have Ken here with us today, not just as a valued partner of the Energy Foundation, but also as a leader guiding critical environmental cleanup and remediation efforts throughout the Oak Ridge Reservation. Please welcome Ken Ruder.
It's an absolute honor to be here with all of you this morning. I can't tell you what it means to be invited to participate in something like this. Because for me, this signifies something so much more than just this wonderful, amazing facility and the recognition of Bill and all that he has done for this community and for our industry. This place signifies essentially our next step into leading the nation, if not leading the world, in Manhattan Project 2.0. The call to service that took place, almost 80 years ago to go win the Great War has us sitting here today. And the most critical things of completing what I would refer to as a life cycle is the ability to tell the history, and better yet, tell what worked so well, and then be given the honor to go on that journey again. And we sit here today to do that. When you have a chance to go through here and reflect on what you're going to see in the model and the exhibits and to look off across that great footprint, and think about the tens and tens of thousands of men and women, predominantly East Tennesseans, volunteers, we're my special church today for that paved that path to now hand off to the men and women of this nation, of East Tennessee, to now go on that journey again. I know all of you probably have seen, because you're very engaged and very involved in this community, in this region of the country, in our state. To see that call to service coming again by Secretary Wright when he came here and visited. By no means am I the Department of Energy spokesperson or anything like that, but that was a very profound moment for me as an individual and for our company, because a decision was made to come here, just like there was, with Manhattan Project 1.0, and make a call to service to go win again the now next great race, the AI race, if that's what you want to call it, in the Manhattan Project 2.0. And this is a signature example of our ability to go do this, a will to win that is not matched anywhere else, in my opinion, in the world. And so when you have a chance to leave here, look around and see the transformation that is taking place. Go down by the Horizon Center and see the amazing amount of work that X Energy has done in preparation for the facility. I was just talking with Eric yesterday. I just walked down where the Orano facility is going to be one of the world's largest uranium enrichment facilities ever built, because we're finishing up a few things to make sure we're ready for them next year. Go straight, just right here, and take a look at one of the nation's first small modular reactor being built. Granted, a testament, but it will pave path to the announcement that was made by them in partnership with Google to win that's what this signifies, you know, for me as an individual. You know, I didn't grow up here. I was invited to come here gratefully in 2011. And Ruth and I have decided to make this our home. We will never leave this place again. For all the reasons why you're here today celebrating what's happening, there is an unbelievable will to win here. And it's represented in every single person who has a blue collar or a white collar every day. And I personally try to never lose sight of that. I want to finish with clearing up a bit of a misnomer that Wade made with regard to his "hey buddy" comment. So, you know, Wade said, you know, that was a wonderful story, and it's very personal. And then it went to, I think he ended with, well, we don't do things that way anymore. That's not true. Okay? I can assure you that UCOR, CNS, and UTB have their "hey buddy" equivalent standing on the steps of UT every day. And matter of fact, I can, for those of you that are interested in joining Team UCOR, ABC always got to be closing. So I want to acknowledge what I'm going to refer to now as our "hey buddy" fellow, and he's sitting right over here, Harold Connor. We always got to keep it light a bit. But again, an honor to be here with you again today. An honor to work with all of you as stakeholders, our partners that are represented here to build the 409th national park in the country. Actually, you guys hear me say this all the time. My grandkids think that's the coolest thing I do. They really could care less about the nuclear garbage man thing. They just absolutely love that their granddad is somehow part of the 409th national park of this country. And I'm personally honored, our company's honored to be a partner of doing that. Thank you very much.
Joining us next is Ray Smith, City Schools in the City of Oak Ridge. On one hand, I feel as though Ray is a prominent figure in Oak Ridge that he really warrants no introduction anymore. But on the other hand, every time I see him give a public talk, I learn something new about him. So I'm very eager to hear what new knowledge I'm going to learn about Ray Smith today. Please welcome Ray Smith.
I don't know that I'll spend much time talking about the history of K25. You all know that history. It's been cited here today. I'll make a few key points about it. A couple of comments about but Gordon follows me and he has much more insight into Bill than I do. I met Bill after he had retired. Well, he never retired, but after he left one job and went to another, Gordon will likely mention this too, but Doug Colblazer sent an email saying, if you're going to talk about Bill Wilcox, I think you ought to also talk about Ruth Lassiter. And Gordon knows Ruth a lot more. I did not know. But Doug said that she was the one that he interacted with when he went to Bill Wilcox's office. So I'll leave the rest of that for Gordon to share with you about Ruth, but it goes to this point. Those of us who are in particular positions of leadership always have some other people that are associated with that leadership role that help to make us successful. And I think that's something that is worthy communication and of understanding. Now, one more thing about Bill before I say just a couple of things about K25. Bill was actually the chemist hired at Y12 that processed the first shipment of uranium from Y12 to Los Alamos. There's a neat story that goes with that I'll briefly tell you. Bill, in handling that shipment, put it in an oven, went home with a timer on his oven, and then when he came back the next day to work, his supervisor met him at the gate and said, "You need to go hide. The big man's looking for you. He's going to fire you." Well, Bill didn't know what he was talking about, but he learned later that what he had done is he had put that uranium powder in a glass container, set it inside a metal container, put it in an oven, turned his timer on. When the oven heated up, the metal expanded and the little glass container fell down to the bottom. And then when the oven went off, the metal contracted and it broke that glass and put the glass in with that uranium powder. Bill said that's the closest he ever come to getting fired. But he was the one, the chemist, that handled the first shipment from Y12 to Los Alamos. He went on to a very storied career that Gordon will share more details with you about. When I met him, he was doing strategic planning for the plants after his retirement. Working at technical director of both K25 and Y12. And I got to know him through that. I worked with him through the PKP, Partnership for K25 Preservation. And as you all know, this building is the last recommendation that he made through the PKP process, essentially. And as others have said, I'm sure he's proud. Let's talk about K25 just a little bit, about some things you might not know. One is that we are, among other things, you think of Oak Ridge, you go anywhere in the world and say Oak Ridge, people are going to think about the atomic bomb, and that's okay. But if you go further, you'll realize that Oak Ridge also has in its history nuclear medicine, nuclear energy, which is coming to the prominence now with the nuclear renaissance and Project 2.0. I had the opportunity to have 10 minutes to talk to the people, some of the people in Oak Ridge who are responsible for doing the Manhattan Project 2.0. And I said to them, Colonel Nichols and General Groves had responsibility for the Manhattan Project. And in 2 years and 9 months, they built all that you have here in Oak Ridge, all of the sites that we have even today. And I said to them, if we're going to be Manhattan Project 2.0, we need a General Groves and a Colonel Nichols, and we need to be able to make things happen in a matter of weeks and months, not years. So that's where we are on that challenge to do it. The other thing that Oak Ridge history has done for us, I said nuclear energy, nuclear medicine. We're also the birth of the nuclear navy. K25 created the enriched uranium that was used to fuel the Nautilus submarine, the first nuclear-powered submarine. And I'm proud to tell you that we're going to bring a sail of the USS Houston here to Oak Ridge, and we're going to recognize that birth of the nuclear navy as a part of our history. I think it's amazing to think that when you go in this building, you look out and you see the signs of the K25 footprint, which is a part of the Manhattan Project National Historical Park. And as Ken mentioned, that's a pride that we have in Oak Ridge, that we are a national park. I was so pleased to be able to testify before Congress when we were trying to put the park together. Do you know when you get to do that, they only give you 5 minutes? Can you imagine? You know what I did with my 5 minutes? I told them a story. I told them about a time when I was in a school in Farragut of 4th and 5th graders. And I spoke for 45 minutes the bell rung, and there was time for their lunch. One of the students held up her hand and said, Mr. Smith, if we go get our lunch and bring it back in here, will you keep talking? I said, that's up to your teacher. Your teacher said, sure, you can do that. So they did. They brought their lunch back in there, and I went on for another 45 minutes. Now, my point to Congress and my point to you is not that I can talk all day, which I can't. But my point is that these 4th and 5th graders were interested enough in that history to want more of it. And that's why we need the national park and why we have it. Because the Park Service knows how to tell those stories. And a part of telling those stories is letting people have actual experience of being there and seeing what our history is all about. And the K25 Atomic History Center does that well. And this building here will just add to that experience. Thank you for letting me talk just a little bit about our history. I only touched on the part. You know we have a huge history. And we welcome visitors to come and see our history. How many of you have seen the movie Oppenheimer? Almost everybody in the room. Do you know I've done 32 bus tours since the Oppenheimer movie came out? And Oak Ridge is only mentioned twice. As a part of our celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Manhattan Project National Historical Park, we're going to show the Oppenheimer movie again here in Oak Ridge. So be prepared to watch it again. Thank you for listening to me. I'm so glad.
Last but not least, we're thrilled to welcome Gordon Fee. We're so grateful to have Gordon with us here today, not just as a friend of the foundation, not just for his encyclopedic knowledge of atomic history, but also because he is sharing his birthday with us today. We want to give a very special thank you to Gordon for celebrating his birthday with us today. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing you. I'm not going to put you through that. But I would love it if we could all wish Gordon a big happy collective birthday on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. Thank you all. Welcome to Gordon.
That just is a pleasure to hear. Happy birthday to you all. One of the things that Bill Wilcox told me many, many times is it's getting old ain't for the wimps. And right now I happen to believe that too. You know, it's very tempting to say here, we've heard it all. I can't say anymore, let's go eat. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. I started and I learned Bill Wilcox in April of 1956. At that time, he was head of the physics department here at K25. I had come down on a recruiting trip from Penn State University on a lark. I wanted to hear what this mystery place in Tennessee was about. I'd already accepted a job in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, quarter of a mile from my fiancee's home. So I came down here on a lark. I left, having been convinced by Bill that this was a place to come to work. Got off the airplane back in Happy Valley, and I said to my fiancée, we're going to Appalachia, we're going to Tennessee. She said, you're going where? But Bill had that charisma, and he could sell things. And he had a passion for life, and a passion for history, and a passion for exactness. I came to work here in the training program under Bill's tutorship. He became my mentor for 57 years in there. And he wanted to make sure that Joe and Sally from Peoria, Illinois would learn about Oak Ridge and not think of it as the place where the material for the bomb was generated. This site has got more to offer. They played a role, obviously, in producing a small amount of material for the first bomb. But the real story of K25 is after the Manhattan Project. They had the ability to enrich uranium and to provide the world material that could be used for both peaceful and defense projects. Bill's career followed the work here at the plant. He moved from becoming head of the physics department to head of the technical division because here at K25 was the only site that had the research and development activities after the Manhattan Project. This site had about 300 technical engineers and scientists whose job was to make the process cheaper. And why did they want to do that? They wanted to do that so that they could provide fuel for nuclear power plants at the lowest possible price. Bill led that technical effort for a number of years, and he was so adept at technical leadership that they made him in charge of both the research and development activities at Y12 and here at K25. As Ray said, K25 provides the fuel for the Nautilus. But beyond that, some of the 88 ships out there today who are nuclear powered are using fuel produced here at K25 in the 60s. They went on and provided the fuel for nuclear submarines, the fuel for our missiles that are fielded right now in the Dakotas. They fueled some of the missiles that are on the Polaris submarines out at sea today as we speak. But they went on well beyond defense. K25 is recognized as the birthplace of the nuclear era. And why do I say that? This mystery material uranium was supplied with research reactors in the 50s, which then became the basis for nuclear medicine. Without the enriched uranium, there will be no nuclear medicine. But beyond the Navy, as Ray's commented, the birth of the Navy, they provided the fuel for the Shippensburg reactor in Pennsylvania, which was the first real scale of producing electrical power using nuclear fuel uranium. That is really the story of K25. From 1965 on to 1984-85, they provided tons of uranium that was used to provide fuel for nuclear energy power plants. Not only did they provide that fuel for the United States, but on a program called Total Enrichment, we actually took material from 14 to 15 different countries and enriched it and sent it back home to France, to Japan, and other places that allowed us to provide cheap nuclear energy and lit millions and millions and millions of homes across the United States and the world. That was the real mission of K25. And so Bill was an integral part of negotiating the contracts for those world enrichment processes under Total Enrichment. One of the side stories of Total Enrichment, the governor of the state of Tennessee had a light bulb go on one day and said, "We're a sales tax state. Let's tax those Japanese fuel that we're processing." It went all the way to the state Supreme Court, and the government won, and the Japanese paid billions of dollars to Tennessee under sales tax, which is an interesting sideline. But the real story is yet to come, as several of the other speakers say, because now the site is home to several nuclear reactors, as well as other businesses. Bill actually, as was indicated, his mark is all over town. He did the strategic plan for the Oak Ridge Public Schools. He did the history of the Episcopal Church. He did the history of the Oak Ridge Medical Center. And he became a real knowledgeable person in strategic planning. So much so that his methodology in strategic planning became the basis for a course at the University of Tennessee, which they're still teaching today. He was just a remarkable man. He had this passion that this facility was needed to provide the story of the history of this site. And he fought with a passion to make this building a reality with 9 different proposals to the state and the Department of Energy. And we ended up with this beautiful building today. We thank each of you for coming out and hope that you'll tell everybody that there's a story to be told in K25 and you ought to go listen to it. We appreciate you all. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we're going to start gathering together for ribbon cutting, so I'd like to invite our friends of the Oak Ridge Chamber, your Rhode Alliance, and your Chamber ambassadors to please come join us up front. While we gather everybody together, a quick note before we end here today. Thank you all.
We're on your mark, Mark.
Okay.
Same way.
All right.
Rolling.
Did you get some
Yeah.
just candid?
Yeah.
All right. Did you get everybody? Counting down from 3. 3, 2, 1, go! All right. Yep. Go one more time. Yay!
I got the photos, so you need to describe the video or
Matt, you're good?
I've got mine.